Hello, I'm Isabella Velasco, and my informative speech is on Egyptian hieroglyphics. I'm going to be talking about how this ancient writing form is allowing people around the world to travel back in time and relive the lives of an ancient people. History is looking at the whole series of past events from someone or something. Ancient history as a term refers to the aggregate of past events from the beginning of writing and recorded human history to the post-colonial period. We've all taken a history class where we've learned about ancient civilizations, and learning about Egypt long ago has become a hobby of mine. The ancient Egyptians were the first people to develop a reliable metric, mathematics, and writing system to make documentation of weighted goods easier to account for. We'll discuss the origin of hieroglyphics, then we'll look at the symbol structure in the script, and finally, we'll look at examples of translated hieroglyphics. First, let's look at the origin of Egyptian hieroglyphics. The hieroglyphic script was one of the writing systems used by the Egyptians to represent their language. According to Priscilla Scoville, who writes for the Ancient History Encyclopedia, the word hieroglyph comes from the Greek word hiero, meaning holy, and glypho, meaning writing. Thus, many important Greeks believed that Egyptian hieroglyphs were something sacred. Scoville wrote, in the ancient Egyptian language, hieroglyphs were called medu nerche, the gods' words, and it was believed that the writings were an invention by the gods. The hieroglyphic writing system was developed around 3150 BC, and the hieroglyphics' meaning was to remain a mystery to travelers and scholars who studied them in vain, until the startling discovery in 1822, after years of effort by a young linguistic genius born in Figeac, France in 1790, Jean-Francois Champion, who first successfully decoded hieroglyphics. Now that we know the origin of hieroglyphics, let's look at the symbol structure. Egyptian hieroglyphics are made of two parts, the first being phonetic, which represents sounds. A book written by Stephanie Rossini describes that phonograms can be divided into three categories. First being monoliteral signs, which stands for one letter, a constant, biliteral signs, standing for two letters, and triliteral signs, standing for three letters. The second part is the pictorial or phonographic complement, which is a determinative for specifying the range of meaning. These are a visual reminder or reinforcement of the terminal sounds of the phonogram it follows. They provide a graphic balance in the writing system, and it was very important for the aesthetic quality of the writing, which was a concern for many scribes. This is an example of Ra, the sun god, used in a sentence. Each pictorial symbol has a sequence of letters that represent a word, and the words are then combined to form a sentence. Since we now have a better understanding of how hieroglyphics are decoded, let's look at some more examples. The development of this writing system contributed to the rise of this ancient civilization. The Egyptian pictorial alphabet has over 700 pictorial symbols, and this is a basic monoliteral example. These hieroglyphics also say a lot about women. Egyptologist Dr. Miriam Ayad, in a video for the Smithsonian Channel, said that women who were given the title wives of Amun were the controllers of the riches in Karnak, a temple estate powerhouse and sacred site. This is exemplified on the tomb of Kabasa, where he is in council with one of the wives. Another discovery was the distinction of royalty in the writing. In Rossini's book, it is stated that Abbe Bartolome proposed the excellent hypothesis that the oval frame was used to circle the names of kings. These frames became known as cartridges or royal rings. And this is an example of some of the most famous royal names, but not all royals were pharaohs, such as Alexander the Great. All this information contributes to how the ancient Egyptians were a successful nation. Overall, this ancient writing system is the reason why this ancient Egyptian civilization continues to be a mystery to the scholars who attempt to learn about their lives. The ancient writing form that is hieroglyphics is allowing the world to travel back in time and relive the lives of an ancient people. I challenge you to learn to decipher hieroglyphics and attempt to translate your name, as I have done. Thank you very much.